What is up, guys? How we doing? How we doing? Today I wanted to talk about building credit. Seems like a lot of you guys are a little bit younger, just starting out at being adults, and I thought maybe this would be a good video for you to watch and learn things about because credit and understanding it's very hard. They should teach it in schools. Um, so everything that I have here in this house, I own, or apartment. Sorry, uh, I own. And 4 years ago, I did not have a dime to my name. I didn't own shit, and I had a credit score of 250. If you are not familiar with credit, that is very, 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 very embarrassingly bad. So, how did I get my credit score from 250 to 750 and own all this stuff? Well, I'm going to try to answer that for you today. So, when you get your first apartment, right? Not only does making payments on rent on time and payments on electric on time and Wi-Fi, that helps your credit. But if you have no credit, the hard part about credit is it's one of those things that, like, to qualify for credit, you got to have good credit, but you can't get good credit because you don't qualify for it because you have no credit history. So the way I personally had to do it is the table sets, those brown tables, the side tables, and the middle coffee table, and the couch with the blanket on it, and my bed were some of the first things we got. And so the couch and the tables I got from a local Payless store, which it's a store that finances furniture for those that are just starting out and don't have good credit. And yes, the interest rates are pretty damn high. But if you pay things off early, you can avoid that interest. So I got the couch, probably about $1,000 worth of shit on that, and I got my bed, a purple mattress, which all these YouTubers are talking about Helix beds. Treat yourself and get you a purple mattress, okay? Purple mattresses are amazing. I will die on that hill that they're the best beds out there. My pregnant ex-wife was able to lay on her stomach and it just absorbs her. Like it's good for hot sleepers. It's just an amazing bed, and I highly, yeah, it's a little expensive, but all beds are, honestly. And fuck a sleep number bed, get you a purple, maybe a purple hybrid even. Anyway, I got my purple mattress through Progressive Leasing, so I had basically a total of $2,000 on credit, 1,000 of it with a store, and 1,000 of it on Progressive Leasing. Also, it's important to mention that, with bad credit or no credit, you are going to have to settle on a crappy apartment. My first apartment was 2 hotel rooms put together, and then I upgraded from that to a 2-bedroom shithole, and then upgraded from that to another 2-bedroom shithole, then upgraded from that to a decent 3-bedroom apartment, and then upgraded from that to where I am now. You're gonna have to settle for a mediocre apartment, but doing payments on time, establishing a renter's history, and paying the electric bill on time helps your credit, which enables you to get a better place when your lease is up. And if you just make consistent on-time payments, that helps your credit. And then I used my tax returns to pay it all off, all at once, early. Paying things off early not only helps your credit even more, but you save a lot of money on the interest that's applied every month on your payments, right? So paying things off early is vital. And tax returns are usually a good way of doing that. You move into your first apartment, you need to fill it with furniture, you don't have good credit. I recommend, going to a local, like, Payless store, something like that doesn't care about credit and might require $100 down or something. Mine didn't. but then pay it off early. So my first year as a father, I paid off a bed, paid off couch, tables, and consistently made rent payments on time on this shitty apartment. And in that 1 year, my credit score jumped up 200 points. Now, because I paid off all these things early, my credit score jumped up a little bit. And I started being able to qualify for things like Affirm, Klarna. And Affirm is a credit program partnered with Walmart where you get a X amount of purchasing power. Oh, and Best Buy. And you get X amount of purchasing power. You can use that purchasing power anywhere on the internet, or you can go into Walmart, grab whatever the hell you want, and put it on Affirm and check out. And so the table behind me, the other, god damn it, that couch, that I cannot work in reverse. That couch right there. And the entertainment center that's under the TV, I got on Affirm. And let me think. Yeah, I got that on Affirm. Everything else I bought outright. My first TV, I bought outright. And the dresser sets I got on Affirm as well, and my Lego cars. So Affirm is nice for people starting out, but it's a lot of for example, the Lego car, or let's use this table. This table is like a $350, $400 table, but on Affirm it was like $500. So like $150 was going to credit. And basically you pay like $50 a month. You sign up for like a year plan at $50 a month, and 15 of that every month goes to interest. So only 35 is actually going to the balance. So my suggestion is, if you get something through Affirm, make extra payments to get it paid off early, because, then you are saving money on interest. And that's what I did. Even if it's just 15 extra to account for the interest. And then I got that TV through Best Buy, because by this point, because I was paying things off early on Affirm, my credit score was going up. So I started to be able to apply for things at Best Buy and got that TV. Fucking A, dude. That TV, it's a Sony Bravia A80K. Amazing TV. Absolutely love it. The way I look at materials, yes, I'm a little materialistic. I grew up broke, dude. Broke as fuck. The apartment I have now is better than anything I had growing up. Except for the one phase of life I talked about where my mom dated a decent man who made a decent wage. But so for 3 years of my childhood, I actually had a decent house and a decent stepfather. But regardless, the apartment I have now is better than anything I had growing up. And because I grew up so poor, I have a little bit of expensive taste. I want expensive clothes. I want expensive shit. And the way I look at like TVs and furniture and whatnot is, you're going to have to buy these things anyway. You might as well get what you want. Like with my bed, for example. Sure, I could have gotten a $500 cheap mattress, but I wanted a bed that was going to be comfortable, good, that I loved. So I went ahead and I got a $1,000 purple mattress. That TV, sure, I could have gotten a Vizio for $600, but fuck that. I would rather go with the Sony OLED that I can talk to and displays 4K at 120 whenever I'm gaming, And got that through Best Buy. Got the TV mount through Best Buy, got Persephone's TV through Best Buy, got a new mouse through Best Buy, and got this computer. And once again, my tax returns came in, threw it all on everything. Paid off the TV a year early, paid off all the other shit, and bumped my credit up even more to where I could afford to get an Apple credit card. And so I ordered this phone for $0 down with a financing option of getting an Apple credit card with a balance of $1,400. And the way that works is you get the $1,400 credit card, And this phone, which was $1,200, not worth it, went on that $1,400 balance. So I got a credit card that was full, that was maxed out already because it had the phone on it. And the plan was to make $50 a month purchases for 2 years. And every time you make a payment of $50, now you have $50 available on credit on the credit card. So when I finally paid the phone off, which helped my credit, now I have a $1,400 credit card, which I had to max out when my wife left, and I'm now trying to catch up. But my point is now I have a credit card. And a credit card, in my opinion, is better than something like Affirm because, all right, so say I make a $500 purchase with my Apple credit card. Say I make the purchase on April 2nd. I have until May 31st to pay it off. So you have 2 months, basically. If you don't completely pay it off, say you pay $250 in those 2 months, interest is not applied until the 3rd month. So, and interest is only a percentage of what your balance is. So if your balance by that point, you've paid $200 each month and you only have $100 left, the interest is only like $3. So yes, you're making bigger monthly payments, but you're avoiding interest costs versus making the same purchase, $500 purchase through Affirm would really be like $600, and every month, even though you're only making $50 payments instead of $200 payments, 15 of it is going to interest. So when it's all said and done with, after the year of payments, like $150 will have gone to interest when you could have bought it on the credit card, paid it off in 3 months, and not had any interest at all. Yes, it's bigger payments, and so that's what I started doing with goods from then on, was putting it on the credit card and paying it off. Now, when you get a credit card, I suggest putting things on it like Peacock, gas, vape juice, things that you're going to buy anyway, that you know you can afford, and that helps build your credit. Just putting $20 on the credit card and then paying that every month. Like, just something that simple helps build your credit. And yeah, that's kind of how I got to where I am today. And then through that, my credit jumped up because I paid off all these things early, used all my tax returns to pay off everything early, was consistent on-time payments, was consistent with my rent payments, consistent with electric, consistent with, all that shit. Wi-Fi, everything that you gotta pay, and car note, everything. And credit just slowly built to where it is now, to where like literally I have $2,000 available purchasing power at Best Buy. Actually just got increased to $2,400. I have $5,000 available purchasing power on Affirm. I have $2,000 available purchasing power on Klarna. I have $3,000 purchasing power at Firestone, which is probably the most important one. If you got decent credit and, you got a newer car or whatnot, Firestone offers a 6-month credit plan where you can get work done for $0 down up to now $23,000, and then you have 6 months to pay it off until interest is applied. But Firestone is overpriced as hell, But here is my best advice for you. Get what you need and get out, okay? When you get your credit high and you start qualifying for all this, right? Like I just said, I basically had $10,000 available on credit through all these stores. I could go buy $10,000 worth of goods today and sign up for monthly payments with $0 down. But it's a trap. It really is. It's really like you see that number and you're like, damn, I have $5,000 available purchasing power. Fuck yeah, let's go spend that, It's just a way to keep you broke. It's a way to keep you making payments on something. And so my best suggestion is to get what you need and ignore that. I know it can be hard to ignore. You see it at $5,000 purchasing power. Holy shit. I can go right now, I can get like 10 Lego sets and then, pay $100 a month for a couple of years and we're good. No, man. Like, get the essentials, and then by then your credit should be good. And then if you want to make a purchasing, like, if I want to buy a Lego set, I'm going to use my Apple credit card rather than do Affirm. Yes, Affirm would be cheaper monthly payments, but interest would be applied every month versus the credit card. You know, I could have it paid off in 3 months with no interest. So I hope that makes sense. I do. I hope that makes a little bit of sense. I know that getting your first apartment, this shit is overwhelming because you need good credit to get a good apartment. You need good credit to it. Like I said, it's a vicious cycle of like, you need good credit to get a credit card, but you need a credit card to build good credit, right? So that's what I did. I went to my local financing store that had high interest rates and paid shit off early. Bumped my credit up a little bit. Went through Progressive Leasing, paid that off early. Bumped my credit up a little bit. Now I was able to get shit through Affirm and Klarna, which still had high interest rates but not quite as high, and make lower monthly payments. And now I could move into better apartments. Paid all that off early. Now I was able to qualify for a credit card, got a credit card, paid that off early, and, you know, now my credit is fucking awesome. And now, you know, I have all these things at my disposal, but I don't use them and do not intend to because I have everything I need. I have all the furniture I need. Like, at this point, it would just be wants, and to put yourself in debt for once is silly. Now, I am going to buy the Ferrari supercar as a celebration when all my debts are paid off because I'll have a $1,400 available credit card and I'll have 3 months to do that. And since I have $750 less in bills, it shouldn't be an issue. Lego supercar. Sorry, I'm not actually going to buy a Ferrari. Yeah, that might sound stupid, but you know what? Fuck it. I can't help the fact that my hobby is expensive. Legos are very expensive, but I'm getting that Ferrari and I'm getting that Bugatti. And yeah, these chairs. I forgot about these chairs. These chairs were also on Affirm. Oh yeah, have I ever showed you this one? This is for my ex-wife. She demanded I get her one, and yeah. Now it's my daughter's, I guess. Fun fact, the 2 weeks I was gone, she took these 2 chairs, which adds up to $500, put them out on the porch and used them as smoking chairs and left them out in the rain. Awesome. But I also got these through Affirm. So like everything you see here and everything in my house, I got on credit and just paid off early with tax refunds or with my money because I was waiting tables and was making $300 a day and could throw, you know. So if you're just starting out, look at local stores for financing options on furniture. Pay that shit off early. Now you should qualify for these things like Affirm. Pay that shit off early. Now you should qualify for a credit card. Get the credit card. Put simple things on it. Pay that shit off early. And keep making consistent on-time payments with your rent, Wi-Fi, electric. And that will build your credit. I hope this helps. I hope that makes sense. And I love you guys and appreciate the support. And yeah, I hope this helps some people out there because I know it's scary, you know, and yeah, you know, student loans, medical debt, things like that weigh you down, and that's why my credit score was so low, was medical bills and whatnot. But you know, you got to start somewhere. Unfortunately, it's with high interest rates and down payments, but if you do that and you know, I use your refund, your tax refund to pay things off. That's what I did 3 years in a row. We, you know, because we were a couple and we had a daughter, I was getting like shit. I made 50 grand the first year waiting tables and claimed Persephone. I got like $11,000 back. I shit you not. And it came in on my birthday. I was able to claim my wife as the dependent too because she wasn't working. But when she started working, then we both started getting, returns, which is obviously helpful if you have a partner. But if you're on your own, like the first 2 years, I was the only one working. I did this all by myself. But basically everything that you see here, I got within the first 2 years and on my own. So it doesn't necessarily take having a partner to help you with these things. And yeah, I just paid off everything, just threw it at everything, right? And then kept a few grand back for upcoming bills. And yeah, the more you pay stuff off early, the more you qualify for, and then the more you qualify for, and the more, but a credit card, don't be going out and buying $1,000 worth of clothes and a bunch of wants and then not being able to make payments. Do not sign up for more than you can handle. Always keep in the back of your mind, all right, so if something happens with my job and I and I have to get a different job and I'm only making this much, will I still be able to cover this? Never sign up for more than you can handle. My credit score went down 100 last year when my wife left because the 2 weeks she was in here, she ate all my daughter's food and didn't get any diapers and spent the $1,000 we had on rent. So I had to put rent on the credit card and get a bunch of diapers and food and max it the fuck out. And now I've been sitting here trying to catch it up for a year now, and we're almost there. So when all my debts, but I got it back to where it is now because in the meantime, I've paid off 5 things early and paid off the Mudvayne tickets, paid off that entertainment center, and I only had 2 more things to pay off on Affirm, which are the supercars. Then the credit card is almost caught up, and then I'll have $1,400 available there, and that's where you want to be, have all your furniture, your house full of everything you own, and then you have a credit card for emergencies. Every month, put something simple like Peacock, gas, shit you're going to get anyway, and yeah, and that helps build your credit and continues to build it. And then when you got good credit, you can get a new car. That helps you, with better apartments and shit like that. And so that's where you start if you have bad credit, is local stores with high financing options. Unfortunately, that's the only thing available. I suggest using your tax refunds, or if you make enough money, make double payments every month. And yeah, that's what I got for you today. I hope that helps. I feel like that's information people should know because I didn't know what the fuck I was doing when I was starting out, and slowly, somehow, with a 250 credit score, I now have a 750 credit score and a 3-bedroom apartment full of furniture that I own. And yeah, and that's how I did it. And the tax returns helped, but even without the tax returns, I was still making extra payments because I was making enough money. If you're not fortunate enough to where you're making extra money to make extra payments, just remember to never sign up for more than you can handle. If you move into a house and you can only afford to get a bed or a couch, one of the two, do not get both and put yourself in the debt. Get a bed. That's more important, right? And pay it. It's overwhelming, not to mention all the shit you got to buy for a house when you move in that nobody tells you about, that you don't, now it's going to glitch. And, shower curtains, rake curtains, brooms, cleaning shit, brooms, mops, lamps, dishes, shit like that. That's $2 grand in itself. It's nuts. But I hope this video calms some nerves and gives you a little bit of advice on how to build credit, because it is a pain in the ass. But you got this. You got it. And I love you guys. Thank you for the support. I hope this video makes a little bit of sense. Yeah. Oh, and I'll be streaming tonight. Daddy0971835. Call now. I'll hopefully see you guys there.